In this video, I'm going to tell you how I stopped living paycheck to paycheck. And honestly, I think it may be one of my most valuable videos that I have ever dropped so far. And I say this because these are jewels that I'm about to tell you that will allow you to start balling and start having more money back in your pocket so that you can deploy it against your goals, so that you can begin to become successful, that you can become to learn things. You can be able to have the resources you need, the tools you need to start whatever business you want to start, to chase your dreams, to chase your passion, to have the money to be able to afford it. It takes money to make money. Trust me, you can't start with $0. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not many things you can start with no money, and that's the hard-earned truth. But there are ways to get to that point faster. Money is a form of leverage, so it's so important that you need it, and you need it on your side to be able to do the things you want to do to get the assets you need. But it doesn't have to be your money. And I will say this video, and what I will tell you in this video, will work best for people with average credit, above average credit, and great credit. If you don't have great credit, if you don't have any of those three right now, this is okay. You can still watch the video, take what I'm saying, and have it in the back of your mind, so that once you start getting good credit, you can be able to apply these things that I'm saying to begin to thrive. Trust me, I've been there at one point too, so that you can thrive and succeed. It all starts with how I learned how to do it correct. So I'm gonna tell you exactly how I did it. How I stopped living paycheck to paycheck was I wrote down all of my fixed expenses. And I say fixed expenses because you have expenses that can fluctuate, that are never the same price when it comes around, like things like maybe a gas bill, water bill, based on like usage or whatever the case may be, right? So fixed expenses, like let's say a car note per month, car insurance per month, your rent per month, your phone bill per month, how much you budget for groceries and gas, stuff like that per month. Those are your fixed expenses. Write those down, correct? And once you calculate all of that and you get that number, keep that, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with it. Right now, let's say you have credit. Let's take, for example, say you got a $5,000 credit limit. All right, if your fixed expenses are only $1,000, put the $1,000 worth of expenses, if you can, because some things don't allow you to use credit, but if you can, put as much of it as you can onto that credit card. That way you're using somebody else's money and you get to keep more money in your pocket. So let's say you got a job where you're bringing in $4,000 a month, right? If you're bringing in $4,000, your fixed expenses are only $1,000. That leaves you with $3,000. But check this out: you got a $5,000 credit limit. You put the $1,000 on the $5,000 credit card. You pay the $1,000 off on your credit card. Now you have $5,000 back plus $3,000. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? The trick is to put it on the credit card, because you're leveraging somebody else's money to pay your bills, to keep more money in your pocket, so that when you need to invest, or when you need to fund an investment account, or you need a down payment on a car, or a down payment on a rental property, or money to buy a tool like a camera to make videos, a microphone, or the resources like a mentor or a guide to help you, coach you in the direction you want to go, to take off in your life, you will have it at your disposal. Too many times people use their own money, their hard-earned money, the money they spend time for, the money they work for, on bullshit, or to try something, to start an endeavor that may fail. But guess what? That money does not come back. It's gone once you spend it. You work for it, you spend it, it doesn't come back. But with credit, you're borrowing and you're paying it back. And once you pay it back and you begin to do that over and over again, you build rapport with the banks, with the credit bureaus. You build trust with them, and guess what they're going to do for you? They're going to multiply your limits. They're going to increase your limits every single time. So imagine if you continue to do this month by month. When in 3 months, your credit is going to skyrocket. I've seen it because I've done it. So the trick to it is to calculate all of your fixed expenses. Do this right now. Write down all of your fixed expenses and how much they are per month. Once you get that total, you now have how much you spend on your fixed expenses per month. If that is below your credit limit, which it should be for people with above average credit, great credit, and average credit, it should be below what your total credit limit is, regardless on if you have it on one card or you have it totaled up on multiple cards. If that's the case, put it on that credit, pay it off, keep more money in your pocket. So if you put the $1,000 on the $5,000 credit card, boom, cool. That's cool, set in stone, easy. We got that part. Bringing in $4,000, you take $1,000 from that $4,000 to pay off the credit. So now you're back at a $5,000 credit limit with $3,000 cash still sitting in your bank that you didn't spend because you borrowed somebody else's money and paid it back. Now, don't think about that $1,000 as being gone, because all it did was go back to your credit card to bring you back to $5,000. So you continue to do that month per month. Your credit score is going to go up because you're building that history, you're building that trust, you're building that rapport with the bank and the bureau. So they're going to trust you more. They're going to give you credit limits, credit increases month by month, every 2 months, every 3 months, however long it takes, every 6 months, every year, whatever. But the trick is to use somebody else's money to your advantage, to leverage it, to leverage it to keep more money in your pocket. So when you need it, you have it. Because when you spend your money, your cash, it is gone. There is no coming back. Credit is forgiving, and it is the best leverage tool I have seen ever in my life. It's literally somebody else's money they're giving you and saying, hey, pay it back. Sometimes you get 0% interest. Regardless of what your interest rate is, pay it back. You have the money to pay it back. Trust it. It's like using Klarna or Afterpay. It's the same thing. That's how the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. You don't have to buy things outright. I use Klarna all the time. Even though I have the money, I put on Klarna and pay it back in payments because it puts more money back in my pocket. Klarna isn't really credit, but it's similar to it. But that's the same concept that you put into credit. So you got a $5,000 limit, a $4,000 income per month, and $1,000 worth of expenses. You put the $1,000 on the credit card, pay it off with $1,000 from your cash. You keep it $3,000 and you got $5,000 back. You're at $8,000. You're gonna make another $4,000 the next month. Do the same thing, and you're gonna always be in a net positive when it comes to your money and your savings in your pocket. And that's the way that I have been following since I realized how vital credit was, what leverage really meant, what borrowing really meant, and how it scaled me up, and how I could use it to my advantage to have more money in my pockets, and how I can use it to be more effective and scale myself and become more successful and go towards all my goals and chase all my dreams and have money to deploy into any field that I ever want to try. Whenever I want to start something, I always have the money to do it. Whether it's a new avenue or something that I continue to invest in, I always have the money for it because I follow this method to put my money back in my pockets. Let's use somebody else's money. That's the point of credit. Don't think of it as a bad thing. Do not shy away from credit. Do not be afraid of credit because that's what it's here for, to help you. It's a form of leverage. Use it to your advantage.